$1 a day, the new silver by Bhumik, Gala. The New Silver and $1 a Day series is a documentary series by EMF Films and Global Vision and Associates. This documentary was produced by Alexandra Jancy. This is Alexandra Jancy. About the series. $1 a Day is a 6-part international series that shows what it means to live under the poverty line. Many people realize that surviving on $1 a day is a struggle. Very few understand that the nature of poverty. In addition, poor people are often not recognized for their creativity and resourcefulness that they possess. There are 6 episodes in the series, all relating to the themes of access. First being access to capital in Bolivia, second being access to markets in Mali and the USA, third being access to jobs in China, fourth being access to healthcare in South Africa, fifth being access to basic needs in Bombay, India, sixth access to good governance in Bosnia. This is a map of Bolivia. As you can see, it is widely covered by the Andes Mountains, where there are a lot of the silver mines located where people mine. But all they get to mine nowadays is silver dust. As you can see, Bolivia is a landlocked country. It has experienced a lot of problems in the past and is still experiencing problems with water. This documentary was shot right after the gas war in 2003. The themes in this movie that are portrayed are natural resources, gas reserves, multinational corporation investments, microcredit, macrocredit, and public revolution. The name of the documentary, The New Silver. Why is that an appropriate name for the documentary? Between mid-80s and early 90s, all the silver was dug out from the mines in the Andes and sold to other developing countries. But the people never got anything out of that besides poverty. This movie was made to show that people of Bolivia did not want to be ripped off their share of wealth again. Hence why the filmmakers compared the silver mining in the Andes to the gas war and called it the New Silver. Carlos Mesa was the president at this time. He took over after Gonzalo Sanchez de la Lozada, also known as Goni, which I think somebody else in class also talked about. This film revolves around 3 main people who run very different businesses but share many of the same problems due to lack of access to capital. First people in the film are Martin Olmedo and Maria Cabana Olmedo. Main character is Maria, but her husband, Martin, is ill from working in the silver mines for all those years. She wants to secure the future for her kids by starting a business with a microcredit loan. They have 8 children. She wants to open a battery charging station for torches and lamps and a water refill stations for the miners by the exits of the mine. Second person in the film to be portrayed was Jamie Bernacchia. This is a picture of him to your right. He was the president of the state oil and gas company. His problem was he needed huge foreign investments for the production and transport of gas in Bolivia to its people. One of his quotes was, "Bolivia is a poor country and it needs help from our friends like China. To help our people get access to gas, we need capital, and the only way to get it is when the government passes the gas law." Third person in the film to be portrayed was Thomas Bravio, who currently has a shop in El Alto, which is in La Paz, Bolivia. He deals in selling and installing various types of pipes, which is plumbing or irrigation pipes. His original investment in his business was from his brother, who also helped him pay the first few payments on his loan. He wants to open another piping and electronic shop in Taquina. For that, he needs a loan of $4,000 from the bank. He currently lives in Villa Provence and is married and he has 3 kids. Issues. People want the natural gas reserves to remain in the country and not be exported to countries such as Brazil and Venezuela. Bolivians expect gas to come to their homes and hope their living style changes. Micro and macro credit. Microcredit is a small loan offered to small startup businesses by non-governmental businesses or NGO rather than banks. Macrocredit, large investments, loans offered by foreign companies into other countries to help a country establish a certain priority and or pursue businesses to help the growth of the economy. Numbers. 21% interest on $4,000 in Bolivia for 24 weeks is micro. That is what was offered to Maria Cabana and her friends in the Andes Mountains. And the macro investment by China into Bolivia, it was 2% of $1.5 billion over 20 years. The first 9 years are free, then they start to pay the interest. The result? After the gas law was signed, the people gained 100% control of what should happen with their natural resources. While before it was only 50% the people's choice, and the other 50% was the investor's choice, which were privately owned sectors. The new beginning. First gas lines to homes were built in El Alto, same place where riots took place a few years ago in the water wars and the gas wars. Gas was able to reach 22,000 houses and 48 educational centers in El Alto. The people in the area contributed for more than 30% of the work without getting paid. A few months after filming this documentary, Martin Olmedo, Maria's husband, died at age 38. Maria was successfully running her business at the mine, charging people a peso for a charge, and sometimes even charging the miners' batteries on credit. After the gas law was passed, a Chinese company invested in State Oil and Gas Company of Bolivia $1.5 billion, which the interest rate was 2%. They had to pay the whole loan amount back in 20 years, and the first 9 years they didn't have to pay a single dime. And the third person was Thomas. He was only able to secure a partial loan approval from the bank by guaranteeing his brother's land. Bank loans in Bolivia. The bank never loses. Guarantee has to be double the amount that you ask for. If the loan you ask for is 1 Boliviano, the guarantee has to be worth at least 2 Boliviano. Executive producers for EMF Films were Alexander Jancy, Joost van Loon, they're from Netherlands. For Global Vision and Associates, it was Peter Swanson. Credibility. As a personal opinion, I felt the documentary switched topics back and forth too much and too fast. A lot of points were left out on how the gas law that was passed helped these people that were being portrayed. The documentary itself is well focused on 3 people, but I felt the filmmakers could have explained things a little bit more in detail about those 3. They left out some parts, such as examples of other state-run companies that were also being affected by the situation of the gas law or the capital investments. And the third would be how foreign investments became influenced by the gas law. They didn't do a good job explaining that in the documentary. Please answer some questions for me. What would you do on $1 a day? What kind of work do you think Maria Cabana did before she opened the charging station? Works cited page.